Morning, Fraser. Friday morning. I think I'm going to do the sending unit today. So, other than that, not sure. It's not a bad day. It's a little cold out, but it's not terrible. It's supposed to get up to 13 today and 18 tomorrow. So we'll see. Let's go. Alright, so looking at the sending unit. It was a little bit wet in there today, which tells me that this unit here, I've sprayed it since, so the wet in there now is just a degreaser, but it tells me that this is all leaking, right? So I'm going to pull it up and see where we're at with that. So trying to clean this out in here a little bit, because the last thing I want to do is put grotesque dirt and gunk in my fuel tank. So clearing that out. Oh look, piece of fishing line. How that got in there, I have no idea. And I don't like that. I got a, so right in there, that says screw as opposed to a bolt. And why they would put a screw in there as opposed to a bolt, I have no idea. That doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm going to try and take that out. All these good ideas that I always have that usually wind up costing me more money and more work. Okay, I think that's about as clean as it gets. 61 gallons. What's 61 times 4? 6 times 4 is 24. 200? No. It's a US gallon. Maybe. I don't know. 200 liter tank? It's possible. So that would have to come out with my 90 degree. Alright. Again, to me, that's just a bad way to do that. That's just me. But whatever. I am no expert. So, what I'm thinking is, like, A, I don't like paint and stuff being on there, but I'm trying to make a ground, which is what that would be. It's also what that would be. That looks like it's okay. I just gotta, I think, sand it up a little bit. I was actually considering using a grinder for a second. On my gas tank, I was considering that. Does anybody else see a problem with that? Remove an existing fuel sender by removing the old unit. Well, so far this is not above me. This is, right at my level. Position new unit above tank, aligning screw hole pattern in the mounting flange with the hole pattern on the top of the tank. Okay. Aligning the screw hole pattern in the mounting flange. Observe the direction of the float arm movement. If the arm causes it to hit the tank wall, you must rotate the sending unit. If arm moves freely, proceed to need to adjust bracket or need to adjust float arm length. So if we need to adjust it, we loosen the little brass nut on there, but we do not take it off, and then we can adjust this actual unit. But this, the actual plate, can only go in one direction, it says. I feel totally confident. %, totally. Nothing to it. Okay, gotta head to Marine Traders and grab a couple things. Right, so cleaned it up. I actually wound up drilling that hole out just a little bit. I was able to get there. I didn't think I was going to be able to with the drill, but I was able to get in there. I've got a bolt
for that now that we're going to put in there instead. Now I'm going to replace these things, because I don't like these little, you know, nasty little crimp-on things without, you know, appropriate shrink wrap on them, kind of thing, right? So that's what we're going to do. There we go. That'll be a blue. Look at that. The wire's horrible. Nasty wire. But that's okay. So let's do that. That goes around that. That should be fine. Should be fine. Do I want one that long for the shrink wrap? I don't know what I do. I want one about half that size. Because that one's got a... I don't know what I'm worried about using a heat gun for when I was about to use a grinder. So, you know. Good. That's a red one. Again, nasty wire. Oh yeah, that's a tiny one. That's a tiny one. Could go with that. That's too big. Alright, got the wrong size. You know what would be really funny is if I just hooked this back up and it was just the ground and, you know, none of it needed to be replaced. Wouldn't that be funny? Ha ha ha. Sort of. No. Done and done. Done and done. Let's do this one. That one's a bit of a bigger wire. That wire looks better. That's not going anywhere. I don't want to touch that because it's going to be hot. Hot, ow. To be fair, I knew it was going to be hot and I didn't want to touch it. Good enough. Now we can go ahead and take that out. I actually want to unplug that because I don't need that anymore, and I don't need it accidentally turning on me. The question is, do I want to be grounded beforehand? Or do I just want that wire out of the way? I do not know. I do not know. So let's remove this. You can already smell the fuel from the holes just from the screws. Okay, I feel it moving, so what I should have done is gotten that open and prepared ahead of time just in case, right? Okay, good. And screws. Oh, I like that. They're not a, not really sure what I'm thinking of, but they're not a, you know, they're not that, whatever they are. Okay. Playing around with this. This looks like this has to go one way or another, whether it's there or whether it's not, yes. So that is required. So one goes up into it, one goes down. We have no idea how far yet. Okay. Oh, need to get that on there first, probably. Let's not mess around with that. Yeah, it really does only go one way. It is quite short. Quite short. Okay. That is way longer than that. What does that say? 4 inch. Shall we see how deep that I can see the depth of it? What? Okay, let's see. Like, seriously, that goes down a long ways, man. It goes down almost to the bottom. Almost to the bottom. So I would say at least 3 inches needs to come off of that. Three inches off of each side, shall we say? Is that fair? So now we can put this in here. Should I just measure it? Maybe that would be the way to go. Maybe that would be the smart way to go. Just measure it. Where's my measuring tape? I have, boom, a, say, 14.5-inch tank. Just a little bit more. Let me try these ones. Yeah, this might work better. It did work better. Take the top of this dead part on there. That's reasonable. Good, good, good. Okay, this here goes not there. Okay, I am hoping that those screw holes are okay. I mean, there's nothing I can do. There's going to be some metal's going to get in there, some junk. It went that way, and I'm hoping that is the same going that way. Please, please, please be the same. Can't go that way. It's got to go side to side, which is really weird. Really weird. I would have thought it was longer, but than it is wide. But it appears it's wider than it is long. So be it. We've got to figure this out now. So the depth is fine on it, but now I've got to do that thing where it wants me to change it. So I loosen it, because right now I've got it here, but I want it over here. So this stays in the same spot. This has to stay. That changes. Sorry, I had you facing the wrong way, man. So what I did is I loosened like the thing told me. I loosened this, and then it's got a square patch in there. So I pushed it down a little bit, turned it 90 degrees, so now it's going to go this way in the tank instead of long ways, which again boggles my mind, but why complain, right? If it fits, we do not complain. Like, to the naked eye, they look like they're all going to be the same whichever way you turn it, but they are not. I kind of like there's a wasp or something going around here. Nope, just a big bumblebee. Man, that thing's huge. That's one of the biggest bumblebees I think I've ever seen just now. That's a sign of spring, isn't it? Or just the temperature? Well, that's a good sign so far. I got them into the started, but now I got to get that, whatever that size nut is, which is what I probably should have done first. Ow! There's some sort of a seal just on the underside of this this screw head, and I'm supposed to tighten it down until such time as I start to see that come out. Seems a little odd to me, but whatever, you know. So I'm going to go in a similar as though I was putting the tire back on. I'm going to go in that kind of a fashion, star-shaped. That's tight. See if I can get my big paws in there and do this. I have no idea how far that went. Wow. That went all the way over to the side of the tank. All I gotta do is get it started. That's all I gotta do is get it started. I got it started. Oh yeah. Okay. That's on there. Ground. It either works or it don't, man. You know. I'm gonna go get the cheese. I'm gonna go get the cheese. I'm gonna go get the keys and try it. So this is one of the areas where I get uncomfortable. I've been working with gas and electrical wires, and now I got to turn the batteries on. All right, just saying now. I love you all. Cops just showed up. Hey, buddy. Good. How are you? No, changing my sending unit. So just gonna try it now. Just gonna try it. So stand back, just in case. So it still reads a half. It still reads a half. Okay, let's carry this on in a minute. All right, so it's showing half tank, which may be okay because I'm on an angle, right? So that might be all right. We'll wait and see. Hopefully tomorrow I get it on the water and I can see what happens, what it says when it's flat. And if it reads a full tank, I'm happy. If not, maybe I got to look for ground, further in, which is possible. But for now, we're going to put the top on this. Wonderful, wonderful Sikaflex. Love this stuff. I think that's enough. That's probably enough for, 6 or 7, but I do not care. Where is that? That is there. Let's put that in the same spot. Boom. Down she goes. There you go. Let that set overnight. Then we can trim off the excess, but it's good stuff.
Hey Fraser, hope you're having a good day today, bud. Yeah, just worked on the sending unit today for the boat. Took a chance, just because, I'd like to get out fishing tomorrow after pancake breakfast tomorrow morning, but after that I'd like to get out fishing. It's supposed to be really, really good weather. So I decided to change it. It reads, which is good, right? So it's not like the sending unit is not, I hate the term sending unit, the name sending unit, because it's not like it's a pump. So there's no pump in there actually drawing the fuel out, other than A, gravity, and B, the vacuum of the engine. So the engine will still work, even if the sending unit doesn't, because all that's doing is sending the signal to the gas gauge telling me how much fuel I got in there. Now it should be a full tank, unless it just never reads. Like, I don't know. We'll see, because it's on the angle and stuff, right? I know I didn't fuel up after last time I went out with Al, but we only used like 8 or 9 liters kind of thing, right? So it would still be full. So we shall see. I was a little bit surprised to find out that it was a 61-gallon tank, which puts my tank at 230 liters, which surprised me. I thought it was only a 160-liter tank, strictly because that's what I put in there when I filled it, and I thought she was dead empty when I first bought it. But clearly, not so much. It was not quite half full. But yeah, it went in. Again, it's a little nerve-wracking when you got that much fuel, sitting there open, and you're dealing with, I didn't have it open when I was using the heat gun, or open when I turned the batteries back on, but still, it's a little nerve-wracking for me. But it seems to work out well. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. And if that doesn't do it, then there's got to be a ground issue in behind on the actual gas gauge. It's the only other thing that makes sense to me. Which means I could have gone in there and just kind of wiggled some wires and probably fixed the whole thing. But so be it. It's brand new. It's good. Done. We'll find out tomorrow, I guess. Gonna continue to read out of John chapter 8. So he's been on the temple grounds, and he's been chatting with all the religious leaders and such like that. So yesterday I read that he was telling them that they don't belong to God, they belong to the devil, because the devil was a murderer and they're trying to kill him. And so anyway, that's what he was chatting with them about. So we're just going to continue on with that vein. In verse 48, the Jews answered him, "Aren't we right in saying that you are a Samaritan and demon-possessed?" They didn't like Samaritans. Samaritans were... They considered Samaritans half-breeds, right? Half Jewish and half not. And they didn't like him at all. So Jesus said, "I am not possessed by a demon, but I honor my Father, and you dishonor me. I am not seeking glory for myself, but there is one who seeks it, and he is the judge.
Very truly I tell you, whoever obeys my word will never see death." At this they exclaimed, "Now we know you are a demon-possessed. Abraham died, and so did the prophets. Yet you say that whoever obeys your word will never taste death? Are you greater than our father Abraham? He died, and so did the prophets. Who do you think you are?" Jesus replied, "If I glorify myself, my glory means nothing. My Father, whom you claim as your God, is the one who glorifies me. Though you do not know him, I know him. If I said I did not, I would be a liar like you, but I do know him, and I do obey his word. Your father Abraham rejoiced at the thought of seeing my day. He saw it and was glad." "You are not yet 50 years old," they said to him, "and you have seen Abraham?" "Very truly I tell you," Jesus answered, "before Abraham was born, I am." At this, they picked up stones to stone him, but Jesus hid himself, slipping away from the temple grounds. So, way back, we go way back to Exodus. God was talking to Moses. This is the whole burning bush thing, where Moses saw the burning bush, went over to it, and God spoke to him out of the burning bush. At this point, God was telling Moses to go and tell the Israelites that God's going to take them out of Egypt. And Moses says to God, "Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me,' and they ask me, 'What is his name?' Then what shall I tell them?" God said to Moses, "I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you." So I am is the name of God. I am is the name God gave himself to Moses. I think we chatted about this before. Firstly, Jesus said to them that Abraham saw Jesus. Abraham saw Jesus' day and was glad. Well, Abraham was more than 1,000 years before Christ. So Jesus was about 30-ish. They said, "You're not yet 50 years old, so you're not even 50 years old, and yet you claim to have seen Abraham." And then Jesus said, "Before Abraham was, I am." So Jesus is claiming to have met Abraham, who was probably close to 2,000 years before Christ, and he calls himself God. At this, the Jewish leaders, they bent down to pick up stones to stone him. Jesus slipped away, but it was a massive thing to say, and yeah, they were already looking to kill him, and they would have killed him right there if they could, but it wasn't time yet. Jesus had to die on the cross. He knew that. But yeah, Jesus was definitely in their face. He pushed a lot of buttons. Jesus did all that stuff because he loves you very, very much. He bled and died on a cross, went down into the center of the earth, spent 3 days in hell, and then rose from the grave. Because he loves you that much. And he wants you to accept him and come to him. It's that simple. I love you too, buddy. I miss you. I look forward to seeing you soon. And I will post more tomorrow.